Alright, y'all, this is a update about the long form. What has happened to my body, where we are in the process, and exactly what we plan to do with my body insofar as medically. So, the nub that you see before you, the leg that you see before you, this shoulder, and this wrist. When I came into the hospital, to the trauma center, the one I was originally at, I had a total of 45 fractures. 14 in just the foot on my nub leg alone. I believe there was something like 6 in the leg. My knee was dislocated. And so they were able to originally reattach this with an EXIF. That's why there's two hospital scars right here and here on this nub. They reattached it. The vein and the artery were bisected, so it were sliced off. They saved the artery because it's a couple cell walls thick, but the vein, they had trouble with it, kept shredding. That was the reason for this venular harvest. They tried to attach that. That vein was too small. They were able to utilize it to basically, even though it was shredding, it was able to be used. But it caused, not only did I not have enough blood leaving, therefore not enough blood going in, the damage to this leg knee caused what they call cavitation syndrome, which was basically like internal bleeding into a cavity, only it's like hemorrhaging into a cavity. They solved that by giving me blood. Well, anyway, the leg started dying, and they had to cut it back off. Caused my kidneys to fail, to which they had to clean my blood by giving me a ton more and using a machine and a whole bunch of nice fun stuff. That's how we got to the point of amputation. They put an EXIF on this leg. That's an external fixation. It's basically like an erector set for a leg. Keeps it straight and aligned while they had not yet put in the titanium rods. Technically, they only fixed one of the two bones. I believe it was the fibula that was fixed. The tibia is non-weight bearing, and the bone fracture was close enough that they didn't have to fix it. It would heal naturally. So they put in 2 titanium rods. Those bones are curved, so you have to accentuate why they put in 2 and exactly why there's 2 scars where they put them in. I'm not exactly sure what happened to my foot. I know it looks like my ankle's broken. It looks like a bunch of stuff. I guess it's not, but I know I did something, because bruises like that don't just appear. The swelling still hasn't gone down. It's been 4 weeks, and I slept with my foot on this pillow doubled up. So I'm even sleeping with everything elevated, keeping everything elevated as I should, yada yada. My scapula had 5 fractures. They installed 3 titanium plates. In order to access a scapula, you have to cut off 3 muscles that you guys call rotary cuffs. So they cut those off. They attached the plates with many, many screws. And then they reattached the 3 plates, and then they reattached the muscles in some fashion. I don't know if they leave enough ligament that they can sew it on there. I don't know how they go about doing that, but they reattached it. Sadly, 2 of the screws dislodged. They are still in the holes in the bone, but they are not physically anchoring the titanium plate anymore. Luckily, there's a lot more than 2 screws in them damn plates. Where it was is at the bottom, where your scapula is the thinnest, roughly 3 millimeters thick. If you stacked up about 2 or 3 pieces of construction paper, that's the level of thickness we're talking about. And that's the type of screw. I mean, I don't even know how they got a thread in there, to be brutally honest. Luckily, it will not cause, from what they said, any issues. It very likely will still calcify around that and may secure it in the future. But as currently, they took x-rays yesterday. They read them to me yesterday. And so their screws are not currently actively usable. The scapula, otherwise, and rotary cuff will probably take longer to heal than me actually getting a prosthetic. So it's considered one of the more debilitating injuries I have, which kind of leads me to why they decided not to do this. Upon talking to the trauma team, it has been about 2 weeks since they added a titanium plate to my wrist. It was broken in 3 spots. Anyway, 2 to 4 weeks is a standard healing time on a wrist. They want more just due to the fact that it is likely to be my only weight-bearing arm for a while. So they want to make sure this thing heals as good as possible. And I told the trauma team, look, I'm very intelligent, but I absolutely appeal to authority. This is your job. And that makes a lot of sense. So that's what we are going with currently. Where we are going from here. This facility specializes in acute PT. That means I have roughly around, I shouldn't say PT only, PTOT, physical therapy and occupational therapy. Roughly 3 hours of fairly intensive, as much as you can handle, versions of physical therapy to get you back into the state of being able to walk and utilize the useless leg I currently have. It's kind of useful. I've stood on it for a while, but 10 minutes of non-moving and I can do some squats and I'm technically capable of lifting my butt off the ground with just my core strength in one foot. I want to be able to, walk around, actually utilize it. Of course, then they're going to heal. Medications, the list is very long. I'm not really going to divulge it because I don't like pharmaceuticals insofar as the next guy, and some people would be super happy. It's not great. I'm always in pain, even though I'm on very strong painkillers. They want me to get what they call a neuro knee. The prosthetist's either assistant or at least someone who works directly with it has told me this is what they're fighting for. A neuro knee, which is a plug-in hydraulic knee that has AI and it gets used to you. It can tell when you're going downstairs. It can tell how fast you're going, so it can adjust speed and all that type of stuff. Then they want to get me what they call Filier XTS or Pro XTS foot. Basically, it looks like the spring the Olympians run around on. It's got a rubber pad on the bottom. That's basically a high activity knee-foot combination. So that's about all I know. My bones did come through that portion of the leg. Every time I try to share it, I may end up adding the photo at the end of the video. I don't know if it may end up saying it's like gory content. So if you check my GoFundMe out, then absolutely you can be able to see what it looks like when 2 bones pop through your shin. Sadly, I have some pictures of me prior to the accident. I haven't shared them. They're pretty. My knee was behind my back. My foot was twisted off at an odd angle. We're talking bones were coming out and stuff, and so I haven't shared those. One, they're actually I am immune to gore, and they're pretty gory. Either way, well, figured I'd give everybody an actual, real update of what is going on, what has gone on, and what will go on. Love y'all. God bless.